It's time for the middle race of the round of 8 that we're not a part of as we take a level 2 upgrade to this car for this Tricon Garage 85 team coming into Talladega. Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode as we are getting one step closer to determining a final 4, and we're not even going to really worry about the points coming into Talladega because we know it's going to look completely different after a super speedway. But we saw of course the 8 drivers involved right now as we focus in on this weekend and continuing our late success in this season. And we had a very unexpected development this weekend. Dale Earnhardt Jr. reached out in text earlier this week and said, "I know you're signed on to be at Tricon next season, but come talk to me this weekend." And I would do exactly that. We would have a conversation with Dale Jr. We would meet him at his motorhome, and he would offer me a big-time ultimatum. And that is, he is willing to buy out my contract at Tricon Garage as they are going to be starting a Cup Series team next season. And they just announced it here in Talladega as well. It was official. Junior Motorsports will enter the number 15 in the Cup Series next season. And no driver officially announced because they're approaching me. And like I said, Dale offered to buy out my contract going into next season, and this would put Tricon in a really awkward spot, but it would put me in a really promising spot with direct funding from Hendrick Motorsports as we actually qualify 8th place here for Talladega. But the opportunity is there, and it's something really enticing to me. He said to get back to him as soon and as late, actually, as next week going into Martinsville. He needs an answer immediately. I want to know what you guys think, because this is a big decision, because if we take this offer, Tricon essentially gets shut down from being a full-time team because they're not going to have enough time to get everything sorted out, and we just kind of leave them. And I'd feel bad, but it's a great career opportunity. Direct links to Hendrick Motorsports. Of course, Tricon was going to Chevrolet, and they were going to have an alliance with Hendrick, and that would probably sever that. But now, instead of an alliance, we are like directly involved in Hendrick Motorsports. So we'll know next episode. We'll make a decision, and it's going to be heavy on my mind as we kick things off right here from Talladega Super Speedway now. And, well, no better place for Dale Jr. really to announce it. I mean, at a track that he had so much success at back in the day, and now we know Junior Motorsports is going Cup Series racing and have given us the offer of a lifetime to drive the number 15 Chevrolet Camaro next season. Is super enticing. And yeah, like I said, drop a comment down below on your thoughts on if we should maybe take up this offer. We have to get back to him in Martinsville, and we will get back to him as soon as next episode, and our future is going to be determined either going there and getting a contract bought out at Tricon, or we'll stay with Tricon, we'll know next episode now. But we have to focus in on this race, and we are not a part of the playoff picture, and it is a shame that we're not part of the playoff picture because we have had a very strong run since the playoffs kicked off, and we have had a very solid track record when it comes to super speedway racing. And it's funny how it's turned around, because in our debut of the career mode all the way back in the ARCA series at Daytona, when we were barrel rolling in the middle of turn 1 and 2, it's been one heck of a turnaround in our super speedway luck, and we had gotten to the lead here on just a second lap with help from a Toyota teammate there of Chase Briscoe on the run down into turn number 3, and we take the lead over now with this 15-lap stage underway. You see a lot of separation in the pack behind us, and this is going to continue to get closer here as we go through these next few laps. But this is lap 3, coming to lap 4, and Briscoe actually with a big run on the outside with some help there from Toyota teammates is going to go to the front of the pack. Ryan Blaney around behind us, and the caution's going to come out right off the bat here in Talladega. That's a playoff driver, still maintaining P6, and I was glad to see this caution because this eliminates the green flag pit stop, hopefully. Everybody's going to stay out, and we'll get ready to go back racing. And as we do that, we'll kind of see what the fuel situation is, but we got an estimation of 8 laps of fuel. We were P2 at the time of the caution. We'll have the 24 of William Byron linked up behind us in that, what paint scheme is he running today? The Raptor colors as we retake the green flag, and we get back underway here from Talladega. So as we go green, we've got, what, 8 laps to go here or no, 9 laps to go in stage 1. And how much fuel do we have? Well, we have 8 laps of fuel. So that means we're going to have to save about a lap, and that shouldn't be too hard. And I wasn't really thinking about it at this point in time, but I knew, I was like, okay, we're probably gonna have to save something, and that's gonna require us to give up the lead of this race. We do know, of course, we talked about it like every episode, is the AI, they can always magically go longer on field than the player, and William Byron not pushing me has absolutely killed our momentum on the top lane. Finally, he's going to get up to my back bumper now, and sure enough, we pull even with this inside line. But we do not want to be leading a lane because we can't save fuel doing this, so we're going to have to get in behind somebody at some point here. I would really like to do it by lap 10, lap 11 at the absolute latest. I would like to get in behind someone, but I know for a fact right now I cannot lead a lane because it'll run me out of fuel. So we're going to get help with the 24, and he's going to push me all the way back to the front. And at this point, now I'm thinking like, okay, so I'm going to take the lead, I'm going to run my lane, but if somebody takes the lead away from me, I'm not going to challenge it. No, I'm going to try to settle in behind them, and here it comes with the 19 of Briscoe and the 20 of Bell as well on the outside working together, and this is perfect for me. I'm not going to really let the 20 in, but Briscoe's going to jump down here in turn 3. Maybe I'm kind of waiting. There he goes, kind of. He's very indecisive. But now as we roll through out of turn 4, he kind of commits to the inside, and I'm like, okay, this is my moment right here to start saving the fuel that I need to make sure we make it to the end of stage 1. So I am at this point here running half throttle down the back straightaway, and I'm even getting, when I get a big run up to the back of the 19, I'm actually clutching a little bit for about a second. So this is unfortunately going to kind of bring us back down the order a little bit, but I mean, I'd rather give up 10 spots here and make it to the end of the stage versus not having a fuel and have to pit and then give up 30 positions instead going into stage 2. So we're going to just kind of ride behind this 19 right now and make sure that I have the fuel that we need to get to the end. Now this all will be erased if we get a caution here because it would end the stage and then it would be a waste of time saving fuel, but we're banking on this, you know, going green to the end. Big help there from the 2 of Cindric, and that's the moments where I can lift right here and clutch. I'm full clutch right there, and then back to the throttle now as we come to 3 to go. We now got 3 laps to fuel, so I knew at this point we're okay to start going. Problem is now, yeah, we're in traffic, so it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to try and find a way. The fuel light comes on, okay, maybe we're not okay, because that signifies you got about 2 laps of fuel. So it's going to be really tight because I know when the counter hits 0 laps of fuel, you can go for a little bit longer. So it's going to be close. So I'm still saving. The 17's around Busher. That's going to bring out the caution. Playoff contender. And he is all over the road going around several times. And that's going to end stage 1. Kyle Larson is going to be your stage winner. And we end up 19th. Chase Elliott in 21st. The 48's over here still turning the 17. Everybody's going to pit for tires and fuel. And we'll come in and we'll get 4 tires. We'll get, of course, the fuel, fill this fuel tank up. And as we return to the action, yeah, we're going to be P20 smack dab in the middle of this field. So that didn't quite go how I had imagined it. I honestly thought, you know, I feel like we've seen several times in super speedways where we'll get a caution in the stage and then we'll go green to the end, and that's kind of what I thought was going to happen right there, but obviously we did not have that happen. So definitely would like to go back and race that one out, but I mean, we were doing what we had to do. You can't just assume a caution's going to come out, right? You just gotta, in those situations, assume it's going to stay green and race around those parameters, and that's what we did, and I think we were making the right decision, and we still were going to be questionable on field going to the end. It was going to be really, really close, and oh my goodness, right into the back of the 9 of Chase Elliott there, and we're going to get some help from Stenhouse. I'm going to go to the outside instead of the inside and really just make some headway right here on the top. That outside lane, man, that's where you want to be, in my opinion, if you're going to win this race. Come, you know, lap 47, I think, is how many laps this race entails. So I think that is where you're going to want to be. And the inside can get you so far, but it just seems like the run seems to be strongest on the top. And I feel like that's going to be our best opportunity as we see some 3-wide racing. I'm going to join the 3-wide on the outside here with Logano and Chastain as well, and continue to kind of mix it up a little bit here in the mid-teens, trying to get ourselves in towards the top 10 at this point. Now is Crash right behind us. Cody Ware's around, cautions out again, and we have already had 3 cautions for cause here. A bit of a crash fest so far. in Talladega. Very similar to stage 1. We'll be staying out and getting ready to go back green once again, and it's also going to be really close again on fuel. So as we get ready to go back green at this point now, we'll see how many laps we have left in this second stage as we return to the action behind the Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang of Logano, recently eliminated from the playoffs now, and we have got, well, we got 10 laps to go, so we got one additional lap left compared to stage 1 when we had that restart. So we might be in a worse position on field. We should be in a worse position, as I mean, I'm very surprised that we're talking about fuel so much here in Talladega, but that's just the situation we've got ourselves in as we head down this back straightaway. We got Justin Haley giving us a nice shot to the rear bumper there, and that's Spire number 7. Look at the run we got into turn number 3, right up to the back of the number 22 of Joey Logano, as sure enough, 9 laps of fuel coming towards 9 laps to go, so that tells me we still need to save about a lap as we hit 9 laps to go right there. So in the draft, of course, up to the second lane and kind of third lane if we want to take it now. Christopher Bell is kind of all on his own up there. He might be 4 wide the way they're racing here in a moment now, and I'm kind of interested in joining him, so I stayed up here, and Alex Bowman actually ends up in behind him. We're 3 by 3 right now, and I believe that's that's William Byron leading this third lane as we roll through 3 and off of turn 4 and continuing to just kind of ride behind this 20. I know we have plenty of time to save fuel, so that's not a big concern of mine as well, as we are now kind of on our own here with Justin Haley again behind us now, as we were 3 wide on the outside, and kind of a lot of sporadic racing right here in the middle portion of the second stage. Again, Bell and Bowman jump all the way up, and I'm going to be with them here as we head down the back straightaway. Caution's actually out behind us, crash in the back, and another yellow, and this guarantees we can make it to the end of stage 2, and not used to seeing this many crashes in this game, in a race here, especially in the first 2 stages, as we'll rank them back up here from 17th and get ready to race hard to the end of the stage. I was okay with this yellow just because of the fact that we can make it now to the end of the stage without really having to save any fuel, as we'll return once again to green here in the Yellowwood 500 now behind the number 20 of Christopher Bell, and as we take the green flag, it's 5 laps to go in the stage. I was a little bit curious on fuel. I'm like, well, how close are we? But I know we're going to be all right. So at this point now, if a caution comes out, it's going to be stage over. Will we stay green to the end? We have had several yellows here today for cause. Now, we haven't really seen a big one. Honestly, like the pack of cars, they haven't been packed up enough to really have a proper big one. I feel like the only place we get that in this game now, at least in the Cup Series, is at Atlanta. So it's just the super speedway racing is something they really need to improve going into NASCAR 26, of course, later this year now, as we are on the back of the 23 of Bubba Wallace. And speaking of NASCAR 26, I mean, we're now in March. I mean, it's hard to believe we're probably April, May, June, July, August, 6, maybe 7 months away from the next NASCAR game already. It's kind of nice. Instead of after NASCAR 21, we didn't know when a new game was coming. It's well, now we're already only 6 months away potentially from a new NASCAR game, as we are now pushing the 20 down the back straightaway with help from Haley and others. We're 4 wide, breezing past the pack. Look at the run we build up now with Christopher Bell on the run into turn number 3, and we're going to go from outside the top 15 to first and second in a matter of 10 seconds. An unbelievable run right there, and Christopher Bell trying to make it into the championship 4 now takes the lead, but I am not really interested in his situation. I really don't care. Yes, I'm a Toyota teammate, but I want to take control of this race whenever possible here as we hit 3 laps to go in the second stage. And as we continue to ride behind him, here comes Michael McDowell, and actually that was a complete accident. I did not really plan on going to the inside right there, but it just kind of happened. I kind of looked behind me, and by the time I looked back in front of us, we're kind of on his left rear, making a move, and now Michael McDowell pushes us out in front. Could we win stage number 2? Well, 2 to go. Here comes William Byron on the outside with help from John Hunter, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman. All those drivers lined up on the outside, and through to the lead goes the 24. Does he stay high? Does he drop down low here in turn 3? The answer is he's staying up there with Nemechek now, and we've got help from McDowell. Well, McDowell gets disconnected from us, so that's going to help the 24 right here on the exit of the corner. No, it's not. They got nothing. They got no run. Usually that'll help them pull back ahead, but they just did not have a run right there. It all stalled out. So now, as we come through to the final lap of the stage, there's the third lane. Kozlowski, Larson, and Allmendinger trying to roll here as well. Larson actually won stage 1 in this race, but down the back straightaway, look at this. McDowell and myself covering off the bottom 2 lanes. The third lane with Busch and now Haley not really going anywhere. So as we roll through 3 and 4, here comes Nemechek. I'm not really going to try and defend this one too hard. It's the main race win that I'm really focused on, but as we head down the front straightaway, actually had to throw a block on the 71. Well, that's going to kill everything right there. There goes the momentum. McDowell hung me out. We're going to be 3 wide. Here comes Larson again to the line. Who's going to win stage 2? Kozlowski. Brad Kozlowski, as we end up P6 in the second stage. Larson ends up third. A great points day for the number 5 so far. Byron, though, the highest playoff finisher, with Bell and Buscher being the only other ones scoring any points. Now we'll pit again for 4 tires and fuel and get ready to go green for the third and final stage here from Talladega. It's been a fun race, man. I love, even with the super speedway racing not being great, it's still a lot of fun inside this game. And as we retake the green flag, we got just one more stage to go. We're still seeking our first Cup win as a NASCAR Cup Series rookie, and it's not looking likely to happen outside of today at Talladega. We're going to go to Martinsville next episode, and I know we're just not going to be a factor to win. We're going to go to Phoenix, and it's going to be the same situation. What I am hoping, though, is we can just finish off this season strong. If we don't win today, let's get a top 10. Martinsville, let's get a top 15. Phoenix, same situation. Let's get a top 15 in Phoenix. That's the goals for the rest of the season. Top 10 today, top 15 in the next 2 races at Martinsville and Phoenix to set us up well going into season 2, where I genuinely believe no matter what decision we make, we are going to be a threat to be winning races in our second season on a regular basis. Big shot to the back of the 42. Here comes Kyle Busch to push me forward. We both hung the 24 Byron. John Hunter, Nemechek, your Coke 600 winner to the lead, but not for long because I deke him out a little bit there, and we're going to take the lead here down the front straightaway. We'll lead the lap with help from the number 8 Cheddar Chevrolet of Kyle Busch, who's trying to end his very long winless streak at this point. Now a career-long winless streak, I'm sure of it. Now is, look at this though, now as we run the top lane, here comes Larson and McDowell right through the middle of everybody there. Down the front straightaway, we'll be side by side with them, but what I was trying to learn right now is this outside lane and where I can run, and can we maintain the lead? And the answer is yes. Running this outside lane, you are very capable of maintaining the lead, but when the guy is helping you jump down to the bottom, you kind of have to jump down with them, is what I had to do now. And actually, we're down on the inside leading, but again, here comes Larson, here comes Nemechek, and here comes Alex Bowman as well into turn number 1, and Larson will now take over the lead of this race. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm okay being behind you right now. I can save a little bit of fuel again, because now I'm thinking, okay, we will have to make a pit stop before the stage is over. Maybe we might actually get there under green, so it's going to be best to maybe save a little bit of fuel, make sure I don't have to pit earlier than everybody else, and end up hanging myself out basically now, and being all alone in the pit lane. So we have got some great racing right now up front here. 3 wide, Bowman on the far top lane, pushing the 7 of Haley out front on the exit of turn 4, as we're just kind of glued to the back of the 5 now and rolling up to the back of them. Then we'll give a nice little shot to the back bumper now, and I'm saving fuel when I can, but I'm also trying to make sure we remain at least in the top 5 here. So that's why I'm still giving these big shoves to the back of the 5 of Kyle Larson now, as Hendrick Motorsports conquers the first 2 lanes there. The inside with Larson, the outside with Alex Bowman with help from Chastain. And actually Chastain is going to hook up in the middle lane now, because Herbst and Blaney are going to take control of the 3rd. And outside lane crashing behind. McDowell is going to go around, and there goes any potential of a green flag pit stop. Everybody's going to come into the pits here to get tires. Well, maybe not tires. We'll wait and see what the crew chief recommends, but obviously we will be taking some fuel, and the crew chief recommends no tires and 1 can of fuel. Pretty straightforward. And now it's going to be a dash to the end of this race. We lose a spot somehow in the pits, and actually I'm okay with that. I don't mind being on the inside. And as we return to green, what's it going to be here? Once we take the green flag, it's going to be under 10 laps to go, right? Yes, only 8 laps of racing remain here from Talladega. And now what I've learned here, we've led some laps today. We haven't led a lot, but we've led enough to where I'm like, okay, I know my game plan. I know where I want to be at least coming to the final lap. I don't really care where I am anywhere before that, but I know where I want to be on the white flag, and that is leading the outside lane. If there's 2 lanes, just be in the outside. If there's 3 lanes, I want to be in the far top one. Whatever the top lane is available, that's where I want to be. But I had a great hole right there to slip through and get to the outside now with the number 12 of Ryan Blaney. Larson, Bowman, Blaney, your 3 leaders of the different lanes now. Chastain glued to the back of the 5. The 7 of Haley about half a car length off the 48 Ally Financial Chevrolet. And myself and Ryan Blaney all alone on the top now, taking advantage of everybody kind of sleeping right here. And we push the 12 out to a huge gap right there. As Riley Herb settles in behind us, we clear Bowman, jump down in front of him. Blaney's going to stay in front for now. We'll stay right here tucked up behind the Menards number 12. Blaney looking to win his way in to the Final Four, and Phoenix now looking for his 2nd Cup Series championship. Your 2023 champion looking to win in 2025 as well. Here comes a help from the number 48 of Alex Bowman, and this is going to push us back out in front here from Talladega. Thank you very much, Alex Bowman, who's got behind him at least Keselowski lined up as well as Justin Haley, but now these guys leave the 48, so I say, okay, we got to jump up in front of the 7. Bowman gets hung out, and we jump up to the outside. Like I said, I want to be on the top, but then I cover the inside of Blaney, and well, the run comes from the top here as I cover the bottom, and unfortunately that's going to put us back down on the inside. So Haley goes to the lead, but we know help should be coming from this 12 of Ryan Blaney to hopefully get us back out in front here. And I just want to, like I said, be on the top. I don't really care if we're on the bottom right now. Like I said, it really comes down to that final lap, but obviously you can see things haven't quite worked out. Keselowski cleared us, but then nice hole. We jump back up to the outside here behind the number 1 of Chastain. I really wanted to go for a lunge to the outside, but I just didn't have the speed to do it, or the help, I should say. But now we've got help. Ryan Blaney tucked up behind us with 5 laps to go. The intensity building. I go for the move, and Ryan Blaney does not go with me. I was confident he was going to do that, and now, hold on. Corey LaJoie's coming up to our back bumper. It might not be over. Big shot from the back of the 0-1. Rick Ware forward, and here comes the run down the back straightaway. Alex Bowman leads in the middle lane now. Chastain continues to follow. They've been working together tremendously. They jump down to the inside, clearing the way for the 12 of Blaney to come through the middle lane. He's got help from Kyle Busch, but they're disconnected as we continue to hold this 3rd lane, and we would get a nice shove forward again from Corey LaJoie, but now this 3rd lane is building behind us. I see Keselowski, I see Larson all coming up here in the conversation, but now LaJoie pushes me out in front, clear of the field, coming to 3 laps to go here from Talladega. Here comes Ryan Blaney again as well in that 2nd lane, trying to get in control. Myself and LaJoie covering everybody. I jump up to the top to cover Keselowski's run with William Byron. We leave the 2 lanes open. I'm okay with that. I genuinely believe this outside is going to be the way to go, but Corey LaJoie now out in front, but look at the run we get down the front straightaway with help. Huge push from the number 6 of Keselowski and William Byron as well, and we're back out in front and in control of the lanes once again with 3 laps to go. It's going to come down to the final corners, to the tri-oval, you name it. It's going to come down right to the line, but everything kind of settles down for a moment before this pack is ready to make one last push, and now we jump up in front of the 24 of Byron. Right now only 2 lanes to cover, but I see in the mirror a big run coming from Larson and others. Where do I go? I run the middle right now because I think the 12 is going to be the way to go. The 24 has no help yet, but hold on. Here comes the 5 of Larson. We're 3 wide. LaJoie shoves his way in. We get hit from the 12 sideways. We save it after some contact with the 0-1 of LaJoie. 2 laps to go. Corey LaJoie fighting for his job, in control now as we again have to rely on the 12 of Blaney. I'm going to commit now. At this point, we need to commit right now. We need to take this outside line while we have it. So here comes Alex Bowman now. Help from Kyle Busch. Bowman's been up here all stage long, all race long. As we go down this back straightaway side by side with the 48, the inside lane has died. And now Bowman's going to jump down there and leaves the middle lane open for the 19 of Chase Briscoe as we head down into turn number 3. Approaching the final lap here. Drivers in the playoffs looking to win their way into the final 4 include the guy behind me of Ryan Blaney. The guy now to my inside, the 19 of Chase Briscoe at my left rear quarter panel. He would love to win his way into the Final Four. Just picked up his first win for Joe Gibbs Racing. Just a few races to go. In my mirror, I see Barry. I see Hamlin coming as well. 1 lap to go from Talladega. Who's it going to be? Bowman, myself, Barry, Blaney, Keselowski, LaJoy, Kyle Busch, or somebody else is going to steal it right at the last second. Here comes the big run on the top. Ty Dillon, they're 4 wide behind us. Here comes Kyle Larson as well. Recently eliminated from the playoffs, but one last episode in Las Vegas. But Busch is the one escaping away with Josh Berry down the back straightaway. Half a lap to go. Here comes Blaney to my back bumper, gives us a nice shove. Into turn number 3, Larson's going to rely on the 17 of Chris Buescher, who is in his best interest to help the 5 go forward to help himself with the points. Larson in the middle, coming with steam. Here comes the 12 to my back bumper. Not quite enough of a run from the 12. It's going to be dead even as we head into the tri-oval. Now Blaney hits us. He hangs us through the tri-oval. It's over. Blaney's through. Larson, Blaney, who is it at the line? I think Kyle Larson just won in Talladega in his first ever super speedway win. And you see the replay. Are you kidding me, Ryan Blaney? I run my normal lane. He hits me and then he like bounces to the right, and I think it's from contact with the 10. And we'll look at another angle. I originally thought I sold. I thought I just sold the win, but right here I run my normal line. Blaney hits me and pops out to the right, and he's got help coming from the 10. I tried my best to like push them wide. It didn't do anything, of course, at that point, and I cannot believe it because we were going from looking at the win to Kyle Larson winning instead. And Larson gets his first ever super speedway win, and man, I thought I choked. But I mean, it's just kind of circumstance that really took over there. I ran my normal line. Blaney gets a bounce to the right. I mean, I don't even know how that happens, dude. But you see the playoffs now. Briscoe and Buescher are the 2 drivers closest to Blaney for the last spot in. Nobody is mathematically locked in. Elliott has a lot of work to do. We'll cover this more going into Martinsville, but Denny Hamlin, William Byron, both in pretty decent shape. And we'll take a lot closer look and have live race updates come Martinsville for the Final 4 battle. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.
I'm stuck in my head, need an exit.